I hope y'all treat Sane very nicely. Otherwise, you're gonna get one of these.
Hey yo! Hey there, welcome back to another one of my shows. I'm Sane, and tonight I was interviewing Leetlolth. She's an amazing Dungeons and Dragons VTuber, Twitch streamers, and many other things. Please make sure to follow her and support her channels and also her social medias. She's an amazing content creator. And if you want to be taking part of these shows, don't forget that you can watch them on twitch.tv/Cisco and also catch them here on YouTube. And maybe soon on Spotify, who knows? Anyways, back to the show. We're about to go on now. Testing, testing. I think both of our voices can now be heard. Hi there! Oh my goodness, new faces and familiar faces. Let me lower this. Oh, the fanner is just running right there. Oops. Forgot about moving that with Scuff Stream, and it hasn't even been 1 minute for me. Hi there, everyone. We'll be with you in 1 second. Here we go.
My existence is pure scuff, no matter how hard I try to avoid it.
Same, very same. I guess I can agree with that very, very much. I can identify. In fact, I feel like I made it part of my brand in my streams. Hi there, everyone. I hope you can see us and hear us. Hey there.
Hi.
All right. Oh, someone redeemed the. Oh, that was you. You redeemed. You beat the chat to it. You got some priority skills in there. You beat someone with the first the first patch. You didn't let chat take it.
Oh, whoops. I just saw a funny button
No.
and I'm attracted to funny buttons. Wait, that sounded so weird.
That shows a lot about your skills in more than one way, because you're very interesting in a lot of ways. I tried to do my research before this, but I still feel like I'm a bit unprepared. Every time I have a guest, I always try to do at least some small research, and this is the one time that I'm like, oh, am I ready for this?
Dude, I live unprepared. My life, it's just an improv show. It's an improv comedy show, and it's a roll of the dice on if it lands or not.
References already. That's what I like. I like that. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping before introducing our guest. Hello there, everyone. Good evening. Good evening for and good morning for if it's your time as well. But over here, it should be around 8 p.m. AST, and we're live right now. But you can watch this episode later if all goes well, of course. I have to do that in the correct order. But anyways, most of these episodes you can also always catch them in my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/SaintCisco. That's my username across all social medias. I managed to snatch it. Fortunately, that's something that I've been noticing lately for some of you. Hello, there you are. Hello there. Thank you. Thank you for showing up here, and also thank you so much for the follows tonight. Well, as I was saying, I am your host for tonight. My name is Saint Cisco, for those who don't know me. And who do I have the honor of having here with me?
Hi, I am Leetlolth. A lot of people call me Leety. I am a English VTuber, and I specialize in Dungeons and Dragons discussion content, as well as reading streams, though I don't do those so much these days. I'll get back to them eventually. I just have a lot of time constraints.
No, I think I've been part of those reading stream as well. And by reading, I mean reading a ton of text in Genshin Impact, because that's pretty much what takes most of my time.
Yeah, I'm still kind of figuring out when to slot those in, but that's already getting ahead of myself here.
It's okay. Well, for tonight, I have an announcement before I continue this interview, and thank you all for joining me here as well. Because I see some people saying that they're gonna be lurking, and that's wonderful. I appreciate that so much. And speaking of lurk and other ways to enjoy this might be the first episode that I actually put on Spotify. And you may be wondering, how do VTubers fit into Spotify if you want to see the pretty characters and monsters all over the screen? Well, I'm figuring it out. I'm trying to figure it out. But I decided that this may be the first one that I put on Spotify. But later, I'll be making more announcement about that on my podcast, which is on every Sunday night. I will be talking about that later. Hopefully, I'll be able to clarify all the information, but I believe I have perfected a good formula to be able to put this in there. Because I try to check, and there's really not that many shows VTuber related other than VTuber News on Spotify. So yeah, I will let you know about all about that information later. And if you want more information, I have some information in the bottom on the bottom left of the screen, scrolling right now. That's pretty much what I can say to summarize all of this. But let's get on with the show. If you've never seen this before, this is a show where I interview people that I met across the internet, people that have sparked my interest. And it's not just only related to VTubers. It can be other personalities or just people that caught my eye. And yeah, so you can see all those episodes as well on YouTube, or catch them here. If you also want to be participating in the chat, you can also ask questions to the guests or ask me questions as well. And hopefully we will spark your interest as well. So now, sorry if sorry for my manners. I should let my guest talk just a little bit more. They said a wonderful introduction, but I want to go like overall, like, you know, why. Let's shoot some questions quickly here so we can get to know you just a little bit more than just your username. And let me just say right now, because I have a manners with pronouncing some names, and it's Leetlolth. Leety, right?
People call me Leety.
Leety. Okay, I think I'm gonna stick with that one. And I will.
That's a lot easier to say.
All right. I see that you're also taking part of this VTuber journey. A few moments ago, you mentioned that you started a couple of months ago. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, if you really want to know the full story, it starts off back at the end of July.
Oh.
At the end of July, I got really sick with the forbidden disease. You know the one that's also a beer. And while I was there in bed, only half conscious, I thought to myself, I need to buy myself a VTuber model right now, or I'm going to die. And I did. I ordered a VTuber model without even knowing what character I was going to be. And I kind of came up with it as I went and kind of sent the artist ideas and my sketches, and I got a friend to help me out. And eventually I got the model. And then I was like, wait, I need to stream with this. And then I did.
I'm trying to put two and two together. I feel like I'm watching like a literal mirror. This is kind of a first, because I've met people that had all kinds of like stories, origins, and you know, just their journeys about becoming a VTuber. And yours, I think I can relate to a lot. And I know that we have not chat for a long time. We're known each other in Twitter, and I'm very grateful that you're actually here. You know, in such a in manner. I appreciate that you managed to take the time, because some people, you know,
great to be here.
Some people.
Thanks for hosting me.
Oh, thank you so much. My apologies. When it comes to collaborations and this feel of streaming, a lot of people first want to get to know someone, and I understand that. So most people that I've asked before, to come here, they've all been either friends or someone that I knew in social media for a few months, and just a few of them, like a handful of them, it have been people that's like, oh my goodness, I really gotta contact this person. And then you fall into that category. You're like the third person that I'm like, I really gotta, you know, I really would like to, because your design is wonderful, and what you do,
Thank you.
your craft in the streams that I saw was like amazing as well. It's like, this is something that it's way out of my element, and I gotta get involved with it somehow, because it's also part of the show. It's just experimenting on this field and just having some fun with it.
Oh yeah, no, I consider all of my streams to be extremely experimental, because here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I started VTubing on a literal whim of illness. And I am in my last year of university, and it is currently kicking my butt, so I can't stream super consistently. I'm lucky if I get once a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my current plan is to like spend this time learning about what I'm doing, kind of building the starts of a community, getting to know people, getting myself out there, and then sort of having a quote-unquote like real debut next year when I'm out of college and I have a lot more time to commit to this. So I can debut with like new model, new schedule, having my shit together, some experience on how to conduct myself. So that's kind of like my grand plan. So everything I do is really experimental, and I want to make sure that kind of during this period I keep trying new things and meeting new people.
Oh my goodness. Once again, you hit so many spots on there that I can actually explain to me. I mean, that I can actually explain like right back. I'm like this is kind of like a mirror situation. It's like some what's that series called that people reference, like some Black Mirror stuff? It's just like a serious reference. It's just a TV reference. It's just basically like, it's kind of surreal how on the spot it is, because if you want to get to know me a little better, you see, I don't know if you see my design right here. If you notice these things on my head, they are also related, because when I designed my own character, my own VTuber, people know that I started because of these things on my head, and this has to do with also a disease that I had not long ago, and I felt also the same amount of need to be in a field like this, because I felt like it was like the only thing that I could be able to do, and it was like a good excuse for me to be, involved with this. I'm saying, let's see how I can explain this a little better. Yeah, I've never been too much into like the streaming field. I've always been just a spectator. I never thought it'd be like a thing for me to try. And I'm like, what better time now more than ever when I am practically bedridden in my house. Most days these days, I'm unable to work and unable to do just a lot of things that, most people can do. Because I have a disease that had to do with my blood vessels, and I got a massive, like headache. Let's just put it that way, put it nicely. And my head blew up, like literally. I think some people in this planet call it a stroke. So I had multiples of them at the same time. I'm like, how am I even alive?
Well, you know what? You kept going on for a reason, and I think you're kicking ass. So good on you.
Thank you. So I'm like, I'm in that situation, and I'm like, well, it's time to get acquainted with all of this. I'm not much of an artist. I started becoming an artist also at the same time as I started VTubing. Like, I grabbed my iPad and using Procreate to just draw little by little. By the way, the art on your Twitter profile is wonderful. I was wondering, like,
Thank you.
It's like, is that all like self-made? You have some?
Oh no. I try to make sure that for the first time I post every art that it's got like all the links to the artists and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
And eventually, I own my domain name. I just need to go ahead and build the website.
Yeah.
But I'd like to eventually put a gallery on there, so if anyone ever sees any of the artwork I'm using on my Twitter, that they can kind of come over to the website and find out exactly who did it. But I have a lot of familiarity with working with artists because I've worked with a lot of projects in the past where we had to contact artists for various things, and I used to take commissions for a living myself.
Oh yeah. And
I don't draw anymore. I kind of lost my drawing spark, but it still left me with a lot of good connections and, knowing where to find things and how to talk to people.
No, that's okay. That's completely, because I do that too. When I started all this, I've also commissioned like quite a lot of them. I mean, my VTuber is completely like commissioned as well. It's all. This is practically like it's not cheap. It's not cheap. You gotta like really lean into the whole idea of it and get to know it if you want, because I was very picky. I was very picky about all the stuff that I needed to do, but I managed to like be content with everything that I managed to do, to either create myself, or if I couldn't do my own pickiness, I also often commission it, and they do just a wonderful job on it. And yeah, that's so I pretty much I'm starting to also work with other artists just to get my stuff out there.
And I feel really fortunate to have a pretty decent eye about like, who's going to be a good person to work with.
Oh, that's great to know. Those are good skills, to be honest.
It's harder than a lot of people think, because a lot of people like they'll do the call out on Twitter and then they're going to get like hit by a bunch of bots and stuff, and
yeah, that's a problem.
Overall, it's just really hard to find artists online when you need them.
True. I've been trying to deal with those. Even the bots have like managed to get themselves into here on Twitch as well. And that's just annoying as hell. I'm still learning. Like I said, all these things about the streaming environment, VTuber environment, they're all practically new to me. And I'm just like, I'm just glad that I have a lot of people that have managed to like reach out to me and be like, oh, saying it's best if you do it this way, or this is the recommended way. And I'd be like, I'll take that. I'll just I'll keep learning every step of the way with everyone that I've met. And everyone that has been on the show here and participating with me and collaborating has taught me so much about it as well. And have also helped me like accept myself in some capacities and in many ways as well.
Yeah, that's really nice.
All right, so let's get to the other questions. Like, let's go to more VTuber lore. That's pretty much what I can know. If you can answer that question, because I surprisingly, every time that I invite a guest that is a VTuber to the show, I am so surprised of the amount of people that are not really a fan of like big VTubers or anything like that. Like, what's your origin? When did you first see one? And you were like interested in this field as well, and who did you know, if you can say that?
I have a good friend in person. I give him a nickname, Grimish. And he's like super into Hololive. He loves Hololive. He talks to me about Hololive. And it's just been a thing on and off for a couple years now where he like shares his interest with me. And I was never super into it. Now that I'm kind of understanding things a little bit more, you know, I do go ahead and I like watching Callie clips. I think Callie's pretty neat. And so through there, the conversation kind of became, haha, tee-hee, what if you were a VTuber? And I was like, yeah, never. And this went back and forth until I eventually got sick and dropped dollar on a VTuber model without thinking about it in my delirium.
No, it's a great story, to be honest. And you just said a key name there that is like interesting, at least in my chat, because I have fans that are like split 50-50 because they're like very elitist when it comes to like liking Hololive members. And you said Callie, and I have people here that are in the chat that have been like very passionate about her work, and she's amazing. I think she's great. But I've also had people that are like very anti-Callie, and it's like, what's with this? I'm not sure what's going on with people being anti this, anti that. I guess it has to do with like VTuber drama as usual. Just the usual stuff like that.
Like I'm not like on the other side. I'm not as interested in Gura. People like who they like, and I like the cool personas.
Yeah, exactly. In my case, I think my first like Hololive member that I was like really passionate about was Korone, the little doggy girl.
Ah, yes.
Just because of how say-so and how pure she was.
First time. I think Korone is the first time I even saw VTubers because that Ikamboka meme that was going around. I thought that was coming from a caveman show, not from something called a VTuber.
It's so good. I love that one.
Ikamboka.
Ikamboka. What about indie VTubers? You mentioned that you had a friend who was one of them, right?
No, my friend was not one of them. He was just super into
he was a fan.
Hololive.
He was a fan, yeah, so my
He
apologies.
was a fan. I didn't really discover indie VTubers until like I tried joining in the space.
Yeah.
And then started exploring around. I still don't have much time to like actually like watch VTubers all that much, though there's a lot where I just kind of poke in on their clips and stuff like that. I'm really not into any VTubers fan base per se, but I'm not really much of a fan base person myself. It's just not the type of culture which I do really well in. It's not the type of thing I particularly enjoy. So no, I didn't really know much about the VTuber scene until the indie scene until I joined it. I didn't really realize there was an indie scene until I joined it.
That is extremely interesting, and I'm saying this in a very educational manner because you're not the only one who has pop up in this place and been like, yeah, I don't know much about it, but I just probably saw like one model and said, this is it, I'm gonna jump in there. They had all their own origins about that, and that's pretty good and valid as well. It's so interesting to see if it's people who are very into it or very passionate about it and who are fans or not, or not. I think you get what I mean with that. It's just cool. It's just cool to know. Oh,
I should also specify I don't really watch gaming streamers in general. I'm not a person who watches Let's Plays. I watch a lot of stuff that's a lot like what I make. I make discussion-based stuff, and that's the kind of stuff I watch on YouTube.
I guess me too, into some levels, because when it comes to like Let's Play and stuff like that, usually most of my stuff. My thing was mostly podcasts, which is pretty much what I'm doing right now. This is basically like practically a podcast format that I'm doing here, and that's mostly what I listen to. It's just mostly news and stuff like that. But now I'm kind of getting involved into the Let's Play field myself, because sometimes during the week, instead of having some guests or podcasts, I do a little bit of gaming. And it's not just spamming Genshin Impact, because my chat is like fed up with me playing Genshin Impact. Hey, I gotta do those dailies. I gotta do my chores in my gacha games.
Been playing the same gacha game for 10 years.
Oh, really? Let's segue into that if you can share it. Because you said you mostly do what you do, but I'm not sure if you said that's on stream or out of the stream. You said that since you have a Mac, you don't game much on stream, right?
Yeah. I barely game on stream. Stick fight crashes on my Mac. So you see, when you get into VTubing without really thinking about what in the world you're doing, or the fact that you haven't played video games on this laptop since you got it 2 years ago,
oh my goodness,
you realize most of VTubing is gaming.
Yep, it kind of comes with the territory, whether you want it or not, because it helps like fill the void for stuff like that, or people want to see you some experience. Because I've had fans that have given me games on Steam, and I've never bought a game on Steam before. Like I said, I wasn't so much gaming these days. I was like, you can talk to me about retro gaming. I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to taste, and I will talk non-stop about it. I will give you a whole campaign of DnD just about all retro video games. When it comes to new stuff, I'm like, I'm more of a spectator.
And then, as a result, I just got myself a model for several $100.
Oh, yeah.
I need to do something with it. And I can't play video games.
Yeah, I mean, everyone will find their niche.
What can I do?
Everyone will find their niche with their character. It's an evolving progress.
So here's as we continue the story.
Yeah.
What can I do? And I realized I am president of the largest local Dungeons and Dragons club. We have almost 100 members.
Whoa!
I know some stuff about this. I can play some Dungeons and Dragons, but I used to do actual play podcasting, which is where you play the game and you record it.
All right, you did mention the podcast.
I used to do that. And what I also learned about it is those don't do very well unless you're already known before you go into it. So I was like, I can't do actual play. And also, I don't have the bandwidth to run a game right now. I love teaching people because I do it all the time. And I just love discussing it. So why not do that? I am the president of all D&D. You're right, Limbo.
Let me give me a quick minute here. Let me catch up with the chat. I've been chatting here, but I've also been dealing with a small situation where apparently on my Twitch was not logged in on the Streamlabs, and I've been getting so many notifications, and I want to appreciate them because I got so many followers out here from. I guess I'm assuming they're from your side, or from my Twitter, which I've been posting a lot more lately. Which, by the way, I've noticed something ever since I contacted you from there to here. I've noticed that you had a pretty big boost on Twitter.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on.
I've been keeping my eye out on that because I was studying. I like doing my homework, and I noticed like when I contacted you, you were at about 800 to 700 on Twitter, and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, you're like double my size right now.
I don't know what's going on, man. I'm surviving, and then Twitter's like, ha 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 ha, hello.
Hi. Here's everybody showing you.
Notifications will never be calm again.
I had a hunch that you were about to like be boosted by the algorithm. This is why I kind of like just decided to like jump in first before you're too big for me to contact. Like
Oh please, too big. Here's the thing about collabs. Here's the thing about. And this is how I believe I'm always going to be with collabs, because I've done content creation before. This isn't my first rodeo.
Oh.
The thing about collabs is you came to me saying exactly what you wanted and knowing and like kind of showing me that you were, prepared, that it wasn't going to be like, oh, we mention it into the blue. It's not like let's collab sometime, It was hey, please come on my show. It's gonna be like half an hour to an hour.
Yeah, I think
I learned. I have time. Why not? Why not?
I must say, I appreciate that heavy compliment. It means a lot to me because this has been like the work of trial and error. People don't want to hear me spout all the rules. They can do their own small investigation about who I am and what I am. I went straight for the point. Hey, I got a show. You want to come here? This is what I do. It's 30 minutes, quick collab. I won't take your time. And so it's like I did my homework. I feel like I did. I want to pat myself in the back when it comes to stuff like that.
Yes, you conduct yourself very professionally, and you should be proud of that because
I appreciate
in the podcasting space, I recorded a whole other interview show, but for reasons we never published it. And what I learned so much about it is so many people who host interviews, they can't hold themselves professionally.
Oh,
they can't do what's right in order to make sure it's successful, and then it becomes really awkward for the guest, and then the guest doesn't want to do interviews anymore. But you hold yourself really professionally in that regard, so you should be proud of yourself for it.
I guess this is also a first because I was I don't want to say intimidated. Intimidated I don't know why that came to my mind, but it's not intimidated. I guess I wanted to do a good job for the whole Spotify thing that I mentioned. I want to be less scuffed, if that makes sense. I went with the wrong word there.
Oh yeah, no, I constantly want to be less scuffed, but no matter what, there's some kind of hiccup. I swear to goodness gracious.
And I was when it comes to like most streams that I've done and collabs, since we're talking about that, I feel a bit more open and confident to say that I've had people here that I know the general vibe, and I immediately like let loose. And let loose, I mean like say words according to whatever vibe we got ongoing, but I always respect the level field. I never go with anything like overly personal when it comes to like collaborations. It's all about respect. I mean for me that's like the priority for most people. and I'm glad it's working for someone who's like
and
starting
also,
to do some networking.
I mean, at the same time, it's like words English. I'm always super professional when I first start talking to people, but if I can tell that it's like, okay, we're cool now, then I will be an absolute gosh darn goblin. Like, I feel like some people are intimidated to talk to me because sometimes, I guess, I've been told that my Twitter looks intimidatingly professional.
My goodness.
And I'm like, no.
I think I agree with them. I think I agree with them. As I mentioned earlier, but that's only because you've done a magnificent job. Don't see that as a bad thing. It's because
I have no idea
good.
what I'm doing. I'm constantly screaming in the corner. My mods, whenever they call me cute, I lose my shit and threaten to fight everyone. I'm sorry, I'm not intimidatingly professional. I don't have a single clue as to what I'm doing.
Speaking of no clue what I'm doing, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the stream that there are no sound alerts when there's a guest here. Sound alerts. I mean, the only ones are as followers and subscribers, but the ones that are redemption with the points, I don't want the guest to be hearing not say so sounds or farts or stuff like that. So I usually like just shut them up for this stream. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing sometimes. My bad. Sorry for interrupting you there, because I saw people redeeming points and I'm like, wait, save those points for later. My bad. I apologize for interrupting you right there.
Now good. All good.
Oh yeah. You said earlier a small comment in between lines. You said English, and I'm like, it's been noted to me that most VTubers or most people that are in this field practically know more than one language. Is that something you can share? What language do you know?
Yeah, my second language is Russian. My family comes from Ukraine. I am the first in my family to be born in the U.S., so we speak Russian.
That's cool. In my case, my first language is actually Spanish. It's not English. English is my second language.
Yeah, so I mean, technically Russian's my first language, but I've been speaking English for so long that it's my native language.
Yeah. Same here. I've just kept it
So
that.
I didn't speak any English until I was like 5, despite the fact I grew up in the US. So that's that. Also, just like, oh yeah, I know English, that kind of comment, it's something I say when I just lose the words in my head.
Yeah, I guess me too. I've been on there too. especially when
Oh
I
yeah,
get
I
those
say
tired
English is
nights.
a language. That's what it is.
Especially on those very, very tired nights that I'm just like, I don't even know what nonsense is. I lose notion of like keeping safe words, and I just start cursing like a sailor on stream nonstop because things have been going on, or some game is making me rage, even though I'm mostly a composed person. But I don't know. I guess just to fill the void, I just start
Oh,
saying
I feel
nonsense.
that. So many, gosh, so many clips on my stream are just me reacting to something with a really high-pitched scream that peaks, so it sounds like a perfectly cut off scream.
I guess those are the moments when they get you like that.
That's
Even
when they
Chad has
get
them.
and I hear him afterwards, and I'm like, oh God, I sound like that. Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, speaking of that, that's a wonderful segue. I always ask everyone who's a streamer, because I've had people in the show that are not streamers, and they also share like their experiences as spectators. But in your case, you've been streaming for quite a bit. Any noticeable or any noticeable stream stories that you can share, like a stream moment that just stands out to you, whether it's like
Here's the
positive or
thing.
negative? That's like part of the questions that I have here on my whiteboard.
I'd say so. When it comes to like real streaming, I'm saying real streaming because beforehand, when I used to stream Facecam, I would only do actual plays where nothing much happens, honestly. But as a VTuber, what's a notable moment? I'd say what happened was during one of my first streams, I was streaming to like 10 people, and then suddenly the number of viewing jumps to 30.
Wow.
The number jumps to 30, and I'm like, am I getting raided by bots? Is something happening? Because I've been hearing horror stories of like people getting like raided by bots or something like that, right?
Oh my goodness. Speaking
So I
of
started
that,
freaking out, like, oh my gosh, are these people real? What's going on here? Is everything safe? Like, what's going on? No, they were real. It's just out of nowhere, 20 more people decided to come to my channel.
It has happened. In my case, I've had both sides where there's someone who, like, I fortunately got rated by people who had more watchers, more viewers than I usually have on my own, and it's been nice. Then I see all the followers rolling in. I was like, who are you people? And I've also had. Yes?
And then when there's a bunch at once, it's almost like a quick, like, okay, one moment, let me just quickly check to make sure all these things are real and that there's not, I'm not being like hate crimed right now.
Oh yeah, and I've also had the unfortunate problem, and this is like a second time I share this, that I had a bot that was like targeting specifically VTubers, and the reason why I was targeting VTubers, it was because they were spamming like IRL information about big streamers that are VTubers, like doxing and all that stuff, and I was like, whoa, I'm frightened, what the heck is going on? And I just put like the BR back screen, and I just tried to like put out the fire, and someone was telling me like, oh no, you have to like block that bot and do some stuff about them. I was like, oh shit, snap.
Oh yeah, it's what you gotta do. It's what you gotta do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also,
Sorry.
I love your little stream pet.
Yeah.
You just have a little dude.
The what? Sorry?
You just have a little dude on your shoulder. I like your stream pet.
Oh yeah, thank you.
A wiggly little guy.
That's me.
Oh hi.
It's me as well. Check it out. Let me show it to everyone. Let me introduce this to all the new followers. Oh hi, it's me here over here. Yeah, I am both of these characters at the same time because I can multiply. That's pretty much my lore. I think this is an excellent segue to that one. I've always asked if the other VTubers or creators who have characters, if they got lores for their own characters, because my lore keeps expanding the more I keep streaming, and people keep putting more lore into it. Like someone in the chat just said Slime Cisco, which is that's part of the usual gang that visits my streams. Slime Cisco just came into fruition, and I said, oh, I guess I gotta create a second VTuber that is a slime, and now I became a slime as well. Here you go. A wild monsters appear. Try to roll to do an attack.
Well, I'd show you right now. I actually do have an alternate model. I'm not gonna put it on stream right now because it will disappear because it's green, but it's also okay. A slime girl.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She's a green slime girl. Her name is Bethis. Her name is Beppis. She's a green slime girl. And I love her. I just don't get a chance to use her ever because I'm like, when do I put this on my stream? So once or twice my roommate came on stream and she actually used that model.
That's wonderful. In my case, I just
Yeah,
have
I
this
have like
one.
a secret side model going on.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And what about lore for the one that it's here on the stream?
So the lore that I put out publicly, the full story, I'm still working on it. Actually, Joe, who's in the chat, is helping me out with that on his own time. But what I do put out is that in D&D, there is this goddess. There's this spider queen goddess. Her name is Lolth.
Oh.
And the idea is in D&D, when gods, want to like come to the world and do stuff, a lot of them will send avatars, which is basically like a clone of themselves. They'll clone themselves, they'll put in all their memories, all of that, into this avatar and send them down. So what happened is Lolth created me, and then something happened. Something happened and I got cut off from her and I became my own person. But I still want to take over the multiverse, just as she does, like mother, like daughter.
It happens.
So now I'm here, and I'm here to conquer the multiverse and maybe get my mother to finally accept me. Who knows?
Oh, that's pretty cool. How expansive. I didn't have any lore at the beginning when I started this. All I knew is like, hey, I want to create a character based on my health condition. Like, I got practically after my head exploded, my body got reconstructed into this anime girl. So basically an isekai. Basically an isekai. And now I have all kinds of wacky power depending on how the screws and the stitches are being tuned in. If someone tunes in, I turn into a slime. And they change him into another form, I turn into like a very lewd demon that is like, wreaking havoc in social media.
Yeah, but Abakoa asks, that's the spider god the dark elves follow? Yes, it is.
Ooh. Thank you for that question.
That's the goddess of Drow.
I've actually got a question from Facebook, and it's not here from a person. Someone that saw it. And they asked me about a drider. Do you know what a drider is? D-R-I-D-E-R.
It's like a half spider. I actually have a drider model. I have like the art for it. I'm just waiting for it to be rigged. It's not like a really intricate model. It's like a silly little gremlin model.
Yeah.
So it's not super intricate. It's a little bit more silly. But yeah, so basically Lolth can present herself in 3 ways. She can present herself as a spider, as a drow, which is like how I look right now, or as a drider, which is half elf, half spider.
I see. Yeah, because you hit it on the spot. That's usually what they were talking about, because in this comment that I got on Facebook from someone who was viewing the stream, they said they talk about the drider and they gave a little bit of the lore. They said they are drow, dark elves, if you will, with their bottom half of the spider. Oh yeah, they literally just describe exactly what you said. Oh, that's pretty on spot. Yeah, the drow spider. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one, I believe. So that's wonderful. You got all these stories. And speaking of stories, let's segue into one of the topics that I've been wanting to talk about. Which is the one that is out of my element. I fear it, but I'm also excited about it. And that's
Alright, let's get into it.
And that's the D&D stuff. D&D, tell me your origins loving this field, because all I can tell you about D&D that I know is that I saw people play it when I was in school, and it was very wacky, and people got very personal and touchy about all the things that were going on, because characters getting taken down permanently or whatever they wanted to put the rules on, or that's pretty much like that's like the beginning of my D&D stories, because I'm pretty sure you got a lot more. I haven't been really a player of it. I just been more of a spectator. As of recent.
Okay, so my story of how I started getting into D&D was I used to have a friend, and this friend was talking to me about like, hey, as a hobby, you grow mushrooms, not the drugs like oyster mushrooms that you eat for dinner. Don't get any ideas in your head. You grow mushrooms as a hobby, and you're interested in playing, and you said you would be curious to play D&D at some point. Let's come up with a character for you. And we came up with like this deep gnome, which is like a cave gnome druid, which does like nature magic and stuff, who works with mushrooms. And I'm like, that's such a fun idea. And then he's like, hey. And then another day he's like, hey, can you come over? Here's the address. I show up at the address. There's a bunch of people around the table. He hands me a sheet. And he just says, trial by fire. I was like, what? Spent that entire session curling up into a ball, pretending to be a rock and healing people. But it was a great time, and it changed my life forever.
That's awesome. I wish I had moments like that. I think the only way, my other experiences that I can, as compared to like D&D or a random adventure like that, has just been like internet like games that it's like quick adventures where your character gets a lot of pieces changing their body or whatever, or I don't know, other lore. It's kind of, it felt kind of like some roleplay in some RPGs or MMOs, but I never really got really that invested when it comes to like gaming. Combined with that feel, I'm in it for the game mechanics. I'm a nerd when it comes to stuff like that. So D&D has always sparked my interest because I like maximizing stats in games and stuff like that, or coming up with really wacky stuff. Yeah, I like grinding. That's why I spam Genshin Impact. I'm not gonna keep saying it. You're not gonna stop me from playing Genshin Impact, even if you don't want to watch me play it, Chad. Yeah, I'm just joking with them. Let's see what else. I was gonna ask something more about that too. I think it has to do with DMs. Are you yourself the DM?
Yes, I am a DM. I run games. I also play in games. I actually really recently finished a game where I went all the way from level 3 to level 20. And for people who don't know much about D&D, that's a really huge accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
I took all the way through it. And it was a great time. It was a great time. So I'm taking a little break from DMing myself because I'm still focusing on school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I want to get back into it. At some point, it would be nice to DM a game for VTubers or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still figuring it all out.
I guess I can say with that, when I was doing my whole my deep dive into the D&D and VTubers combined as a topic, it goes so deep. Like, I have no idea that a lot of VTubers that I used to watch in different videos and show, a lot of indie VTubers are very into D&D. Like, they have unique channels based on it. I don't know if you ever heard of like Takahata 101, his show where he also does like collabs with other VTubers. He gets a ton of guests that are very into D&D, and they have D&D VTuber channels, and it's just fun. It's just a very chaotic fun.
It does make it a little bit. It does make it like a little bit rough because that makes the spaces really hard to break into.
Yeah,
but
I assume
I'm just trying my best, trying to find my footing.
Mm-hmm. Heck, I even saw like the Hololive girls playing D&D. Like, they have like special episodes where they get together and play in their own way with their own rules, but it's like a special stream that they did at some point. I don't know if you knew that. That's usually what I assume when I see most VTubers. Are you a gamer? I'm like, or are you like something else? I'm like, okay, but it's still cool that people have like their own unique interests, which is why I was immediately invested in your channel because like this is different. I like this. Not to sound like
yes,
anyone. If you want a game, go ahead.
Carve out my own thing. I'm really hoping I can carve out something unique even among like the D&D side. I try really hard to make sure I'm like not copying anyone or something like that. I do want to blaze my own path.
Oh, that's wonderful. No, I've been. It's very interesting to see all the sides and where you're gonna go, and if as long as you have a lot of fun with it and it becomes like a huge passion project, because this field that we are in, it evolves. Right now we may be doing this later, a month later or a year later, we may not even have the same model.
That's true.
Yeah, or the same voices, because people that know me here, like my stuff changes all the time. I let my chat practically like create my lore, and I just go along with it. And I'm just trying to have as much fun as possible.
Like a great time.
So yeah, there's like there's so many things that on my character. Not just can I only transform into other VTubers and in my own shape, but I can also like multiply, and I have clones of myself. I've done collabs with myself, with two VTubers at the same time.
That's fun.
I've always tried to experiment like all the things that So I can have this little dude here, the slime, have his own character and personality. And yeah, because it's practically another VTuber and it's just bouncing around the screen doing stuff. And when it comes to myself, I always like getting more new bodies and more new stuff. It's it's gonna be the best moment of my life, but also my demise if I keep like requesting more models. It ain't cheap.
Oh yeah, it ain't. You gotta pace yourself.
Yeah, I gotta pace it. I gotta be content with what I have, and that's one thing that I do. I always want to achieve more and more.
What you do in that case is take what you've got and make sure you get everything out of it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You saw I repost my art a lot. I repost it with like new questions for my audience or make it into different games. I'm paying money for something.
Exactly.
And just show it once.
Hey, I've been guilty.
I'm gonna make her work for me. I'm gonna make her work for me. I'm gonna make her grind those gears.
I've been guilty of like also like reposting some stuff in some capacity or in other places because hey, it works sometimes.
No, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Because here's the thing. Both of us, like, we're growing and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a lot of people who've never seen it before, and if you just post it once, they're never gonna see it.
Yeah, it's very rare when someone like does their own deep dive unless they're like really invested from the beginning. They gotta see it because you boosted it yourself. It has happened. Hey, sometimes we dabble into fields that are kind of forbidden. Like someone said in the chat, shh. And then we have to like also, hey, it's all about not social marketing. What's the word? Branding, expanding your what's it called? I said it earlier. The word, it has to do with my scuff brain is taking over. It was just a simple word. It has to do with expanding your brand. If you're expanding your brand using saying things that may be like a bit out of character, but it works. It works when you post something about hey,
it's
this.
still part of your character. Like I don't quote unquote act as my avatar all the time because that would get obnoxious really quickly. I just act as myself.
True.
And then there's moments where I get to be in character if like my chat asks for it.
Yeah, true. I can't help but laugh at this comment. It says, if you spin the same screws correctly, you change the setup to Spanish, and that's a lore fact. That is very true. I got streams where I just go full Spanish because why not? Because I'm in the mood for it.
Why not?
All right. It's been a wonderful time here. Any other experiences that you want to share with us?
I'm very early in on my journey overall, so I don't have that many stories so far.
No, you had so many already. You had incredible stories already from the get-go, and your model is amazing, and everything you do has been like incredible. I'm sorry if I'm being such a fan at this point. Al, I think what you do is really magnificent.
I really hope people like it because I do put my heart and soul into it. I put everything I can into it. And I do always really hope that it pays off, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And I want to create a space where people in my community can feel comfortable, being themselves, showing off the kind of artistic stuff they're working on. And that's kind of why I do so many like open tables and stuff. And oh yeah, so your chat's telling you to plug me. I'm gonna.
I'm about to do that right now. Coincidentally, I was doing just now. Here we go. That's the Twitch. Please, give it a follow.
Yeah, no, I'm just being silly. I like to be a little bit pompous sometimes of being like, "Hi, I'm here noticing."
It's all right. Trying into experiences. Uniqueness is one of the most beautiful qualities any content creator can have. I say Leetlolth embrace and the quality very well. Oh, that's a wonderful compliment.
You.
And there you go.
I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna try to get better and better.
You got some follows in there.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm almost to 300. Holy cow.
Ooh, that's wonderful. That's good.
Good
Um,
stuff. Good stuffs.
well, I really appreciate your invitation here. I don't want to take much of your time if you if it's okay with you, or if you got any more details to share with your crowd. I wanted to
That's
ask. The only
just
thing is
about
like,
it.
mm-hmm.
That's just about it. What did you want to ask?
No, it was pretty much like stories with. If you had any more stories with like with your chat, because in my chat when they're behaving tonight for some odd reason, I guess there's like a few missing pieces in here that I usually come here to cause chaos because I know who they are. I saw some of them here, but they're behaving way more calm than usual. Is she the one taming you? What's
I mean,
going on in here? They're
I,
behaving awfully more. What's with it? What's this bias with the guest? But as other guests,
I
you're
mean,
like, you're there to call me out, tell them stories about me, and all that kind of nonsense. And I wanted to ask you, like, what's your relationship with your chat? If if you had anything
oh,
that particularly
my
stands
chat.
out.
Well, first of
It's your
all,
time to call them out in my place.
first of all, I should say, if you're asking about your chat, yes, I do guess that maybe they're being polite, or that I might have a little bit of a taming quality. Who knows? But my chat loves to bully me. They run me into the ground. They're like, "Ooh, Leedy, you're so cute." They get me all freaking flustered and shit, and I don't know how to handle it. And I'm just here like, I'm going to fight you all 500 meters from your location and approaching rapidly. Like, what do you want? What do you want? Why am I your personal punching bag? What's going on, chat? And once in a while, they request mommy voice. I don't know what mommy voice is. I just talk like this, and it seems to drive them absolutely nuts, and I barely even know what it is. Oh well.
Saint X has stopped. Definitely. That was quite a moment right there. I saw a lot of expressions from this POV. Lots of things.
Wait, what happened? I feel like I'm missing something here.
No, nothing.
What?
No, it's just that I think when you were expressing yourself in all your different character, in with your skills and all your personalities that you had, like, it felt like you were like flipping your personality like 180 for every like 5 seconds, and that was like very impressive to the point that I had to like just stare in awe and be down here like hiding behind my own monitor. It's like, whoa, what's going on?
Sorry, I can be a bit much. I can be a bit of a big personality.
No, it's just a bit. A bit as in like, I was trying to like make it into a good moment for like a good clip. And it was all worth it. It's wonderful.
Was I tough on your heart?
Ayo? I don't have those skills. Somehow I wish I did. But it can't happen because apparently I inherited my mother's Latina voice. All you heard from me is like scolding and yelling in very gremlin ways. That's it's not sexy at all.
God, I feel that in my bones.
All I can say to the chat is like, mira carajo, ¿qué carajo ustedes están haciendo estos momentos que están ahí chavando todos ustedes? ¿Ah? ¿Por qué están jodiendo con este stream? That was my Spanish. I was just scolding them in Spanish. I was just telling them.
Got you.
That's pretty much what I can do. I can just scold them in Spanish and they'll start laughing hysterically and flipping and throwing emotes all at once, and my screen is no longer visible because of all the things I've been spamming. They're saying it's bullying me. What do you mean I'm bullying you? I'm usually the victim here. But whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Wonderful.
Caught in 4K. No stop. I wasn't down bad. What the hell are you talking about? Just because it's a cute spider and I have a bias. You all know this. Okay, they're starting to call me out. Holy shit. They know, but they're behaving more than usual. I guess that's a really good point to just leave it at that. We're hitting the 1 hour mark, and I appreciate you for being present here. Thank you so much, Leeth. Okay, I'm gonna compose myself. Yeah, see? I will stop
I
you.
believe in you. You can compose yourself just fine.
It looks like I melted into a slime. I think I'm just gonna roll upside down here and finish the. I'm just gonna finish the rest of the podcast like this.
Oh, Limbo wants to see my eyes, huh? I've got 8 of them.
They want to see. They want to see your eyes.
They want to see my eyes? Hi. Hello. It's nice to see ya. I hope you all treat Sane very nicely. Otherwise, you're gonna get one of these.
Hey yo! I was not expecting that. Sane just say I think Sane just imploded right now. I think Sane just imploded right now.
Well, I do hope Sane and all of you have a wonderful night. It is getting a little colder in my side of the world,
Same
so
here.
be sure to stay cozy. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll stop.
No, that's great. That's great. But yeah, that was wonderful. Wonderful as in not saying it in a wrong way. I'm just saying it as in, talented, admiring skills. Definitely nothing aside from that. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful Halloween week. It's gonna be quite of a crazy one. I see there's a lot of events happening right now. I might also have another event going on this weekend, so pay attention to that on my socials. Say enjoy that. No, shut up. I did. I did not. No, I mean I did, as in
the point of being
in a
a
respectful
VTuber is
way.
that- the point of being a VTuber is so everyone around you can enjoy you, isn't it right?
I guess so. It's true. People have enjoyed my personality in ways that I can't show on my main account.
Ooh, spicy.
I got a folder filled with like a lot of fan art that I can't even show on like the opening screen because it's just like the range is so different that I can't show it.
It's just that VTuber culture creeping in.
Yeah, it is. It's part of it. I guess it comes with the territory. I told myself that I wasn't gonna be one of those, but then it's inevitable. It's gonna happen to all of us.
Everyone is just a little bit of one of those.
Yeah, it happens. All right. This time for sure. I appreciate you coming here. Thank you so much, and for everybody in chat, I appreciate you. Please give Little a follow. Let me just drop the link there once again for anybody who forgot. And anything else you want to say to chat specifically, not me. I'm just gonna stay right here next to my other slime.
Have a nice night, and don't die. It's illegal.
Ooh. All right. Good night, everybody.
All right, good night. I hope you didn't mind all that. I was just goofing off.